This Stranger Things candy bar went viral, and today I'm going to show you how I made it and also answer some questions from the comment section. Hi there, foodie friends. My name is Carly and welcome back to my channel, Adventures in Yum. As you can see, the setup is a little bit different today. I'm sitting at my desk and I'm going to be talking through how I made this candy bar and also in between answering a few questions from the comment section. So let's get to it. To start, we're doing the Stranger Things Season 4 logo. So I found an image on Google Images and I printed that out and I taped it to the back of a piece of wax paper, and then I'm using a little light that I use also for filming. I'm using them right now. And I basically set my image on top of that, and the light helps to make sure that the image is really crystal clear. You can also invert the image, which will actually help it be a little bit more visible when you're doing the candy melt part of it, but sometimes I honestly forget to do that. So the light helps either way. It'll just make sure that the image is really nice and sharp and help you see it better, because I also have really dark countertops, so that can be a little bit challenging as well. If you want to check out more information about how I make candy melt transfers specifically, like the tools that I use, all that kind of stuff, I do have 1 or 2 shorts videos that I've made about that, so I'll link them down below so you can check them out. But here I'm just using a basic red candy melt that I melted down, add a little bit of vegetable oil to, and my scribe tool, because I didn't have fine tip brushes at the time. So my scribe tool makes sure that I can add those little like fine points that are on those letters that are a little bit hard to achieve if you're using a bigger food brush. So that's what I'm doing here. And then once I was done with that, I put that into the fridge and or freezer. I kind of go between both of them depending on how quickly I want them to set. So basically what I'm doing right here is adding a little bit of extra onto the back of the letters. That's to make it a little bit thicker. It's a little bit harder to melt that way. And make sure that those lines really stay nice and crisp. If not, if you don't pay attention to the temperatures, when we add more candy melts in a little while, you'll see that if it's too warm, it can actually melt part of the details that we just spent so much time painstakingly making. Now that those have been in the freezer for about 5 minutes or so and it's completely set, we are adding some candy melts that we melted down, a combination of mostly red and a little bit of black just to kind of darken it a little bit, make it a slightly different color from the regular logo to make sure it kind of stands apart. It's not going to be the exact same. So we're just doing the number 4 exactly how we did the letters. So we're just taking our time making sure that we don't mess up the layer that we already worked really hard on with the Stranger Things logo, and just we're going to finish the number 4 and then of course pop that back in the freezer to make sure it firms up. I'm going to let that play a little while I work on the number 4 in this video, but I'm going to answer a couple of the questions that I had. Okay, so question number 1 was, is it edible? Yes, this is completely edible. The entire bar is edible. It's candy melt, so they're not exactly like chocolate, but they're kind of made to act like tempered chocolate without having to do the whole process of tempering. They don't behave exactly like it, but it's kind of like a nice little cheat for people who are like me, who haven't been able to successfully temper chocolate quite yet, or also just you want something quick, you want something easy, you're not going to go into the whole process of learning how to temper chocolate. This is a really great solution for you to use. It tastes kind of, it does have a little bit of a waxiness to it, so that's why a lot of people don't like it. As a kid, I loved them. As an adult, not so much anymore, but that's why you'll see later in the video that I add some chocolate candy melt, specifically dark chocolate Ghirardelli melting wafers, to the back of the bar because I like the flavor of those a lot better. So I like to try and pair the chocolate tasting ones with the regular ones to make it a little bit more balanced and a little bit more flavorful. So as you'll see coming up very shortly, for the back of the Stranger Things logo and the candy bar base itself, I use black as the base, and that's basically because the Stranger Things logo typically will sit on a black background. Whenever you watch an episode of it, the introduction is always red writing with the black. It's very striking. I really wanted the logo to just shine. And that it really pops on the black background. So that's why I decided to use it. And yes, if you're wondering, you can eat the black candy melts. It's just like the red candy melts. They're exactly the same. They just have that kind of like little bit of waxiness to them. So like I said, I like to pair it with the dark chocolate candy melts to give it a better flavor. We're going to take a quick pause on the questions and we're going to do the rest of the logo. So once our Stranger Things and the 4 for the Stranger Things Season 4 logo is completely solid, we've had it in the freezer for at least 5 to 10 minutes. We want to make sure it's as solid as possible. We're going to add black candy melts to the back of it. So these are black candy melts that I've added some vegetable oil to thin them out a little bit, but not too much, or else it's going to be very hard to handle without it melting in your hand. And basically we're adding it slowly to the logo, kind of adding it a little bit around the different parts of it. You don't want to just dump it on there, or else the heat from the candy melts will literally start to melt and mess up the logo that we just worked so hard on. So don't do that. Be patient, add it slowly, and your logo is going to turn out really, really well. Okay, so now we're making our candy bar base. We're adding a whole layer of black candy melts and making sure that we shake it, kind of tap it on the table, make sure that all little air bubbles get out of there. We want it to be as smooth and as clean as possible, and the air bubbles can kind of create little weird divots in our bar. So we wanted to try to make it nice and smooth by constantly tapping and kind of like shaking it a little bit. Just be careful they don't shake it too hard or else candy melts will get out of it. But then once that is fully set, we're gonna add our dark chocolate candy melts to the back of it, like I mentioned, because I like the flavor. Could do a salad bar that's just the black candy melts, but again, I like the flavor of the dark chocolate melting wafers a little bit better, so I like to pair them together. But while we're doing that, I'm going to finish answering some more questions. So next up on our questions, it's not one specific question, but I've been getting an influx of people requesting to see different characters and other themed candy bars, and I'm definitely gonna try to get to most, if not all, of the candy bar requests. I've been making a running list as I get them in my comment section, so I have seen them even if I haven't been able to respond to you yet. But I will try my best to make all of them if possible. I'll do them kind of priority of like what I need to make first over others, but I will try to get to yours at some point, and I will try my best to remember to tag you in the video so you can see that your request actually was made. If you have an idea that you'd like to see, whether it be for candy bars or cookie pops or cupcakes or even just a basic recipe, make sure to drop them in the comments because I love to see them, and sometimes they give me a little spark of an idea that I didn't have before, and I love it. So make sure to drop your ideas in the comments below. Okay, so the last question from that video that I've been getting constantly are variations of, can I buy the candy bar? Where can I buy the candy bar? Can I have the candy bar? I've had so many requests, it's crazy. It's amazing, but unfortunately, because of such things as cottage laws, I can't actually legally sell it to anyone because of I don't have my cottage license. I don't have like my food handler's license thing. Basically that says that I can't it's essentially laws that govern the ability to sell food, so that it's made sure that it's I think it's safety wise. It's also, you know, just making sure quality assurance, that all that kind of stuff. I don't even know all the details that go into it because I've never actually personally looked into it before. Honestly, when I first started making desserts, I sold to just family, friends kind of thing, just to try it out to see if that's what I wanted to do. I didn't like it because it kind of killed my creativity because I didn't have any time to make the things that I wanted to make. So that's kind of how the Stranger Things candy bar came about. It's something that I really wanted to make because I love Stranger Things, and the response to it has been just insane and amazing and just so wonderful. It's like made my summer. But basically, I'm sorry that I can't sell it. I actually will be trying something with it soon, but I don't want to say anything just in case my test doesn't work. But you'll be seeing something about that soon, at least in my shorts, if not a full-length video, maybe, if it works out. But I'm gonna attempt to preserve it, essentially, because it is my first video to hit over 1 million views, and I kind of want to preserve that candy bar for maybe displaying in my office. I don't know, we'll see. Once our candy bar is completely put together, we're popping it in the freezer for about 10 to 15 minutes until it's really nice and solid and we can easily separate it from our silicone mold. Now that we have both of our pieces, we're going to take a little bit of candy melts, put it in the center of our candy bar base, and then we're going to carefully add our logo that we removed from the wax paper, and we're going to place it directly in the center and just fairly gently press down just to make sure it sticks. We don't want to press down too hard or else we could break it, so just be careful with that. And there we go, that's how I made this Stranger Things Season 4 candy bar that went viral. Let me know in the comments if you want any other longer video explanations of some of the things that I've shared in my shorts, whether it be candy bars, cookie pops, cupcakes, whatever it may be. Make sure to let me know in the comment section. As always, if you are interested in checking out some of the products I used in this video, then please make sure to check out that video description below for their Amazon links. Thank you so much for joining me today, foodie friends. I'll see you next time for another yummy adventure.